Catholic Moments is sponsored by CatholicMatch.com, the leading Catholic singles community. Being single can be a challenge. Catholic Match helps make it a little easier. To get started today, visit CatholicMatch.com/Lisa.
Blooming, finding joy in the journey and hope in the heaven yet to come. Blooming.
Hello and welcome to Catholic Moments. And now, here's your host and my mom, Lisa Hendy.
Hi everyone, this is Lisa Hendy from CatholicMom.com and the Catholic Moments podcast, coming to you this week from St. Charles, Illinois, where I'm attending the Religious Booksellers Trade Exhibition. And I thought you might enjoy coming along on this trip with me to meet some of the newest Catholic vendors who are here and some exciting Catholic authors and musicians and all kinds of great folks. So I thought I'd bring you along for the trip. Today is my first day here in St. Charles, and I spent the day speaking with Catholic bookstore owners and Episcopal bookstore owners about harnessing the power of social media and new media to create community and build new clients for their businesses, and it was a really wonderful day. We had two separate sessions. The morning session dealt with social networking, social media, social search, those GPS-enabled sites like Gowalla and Foursquare. And then this afternoon, we gathered again to talk about new media. So that session was all about podcasting and blogging and streaming video, YouTube, all kinds of great things. So it was really fun to meet with the bookstore owners who are out there on the front lines of the mission field, doing all they can to help spread the word. And as a Catholic author, it's just such a treat to meet with the people who carry my book in person, the Handbook for Catholic Moms. So I'm very excited this week to bring you on a few of the adventures that I'll be having here, and who knows who we'll meet this week. So I'm happy to bring you along for the ride. I hope you enjoy this little snippet of St. Charles, and I'll be back with you again soon with more from the RBTE here in St. Charles, Illinois. Our first guest at this week's podcast, live from RBTE, is a noted musician, a very inspirational gentleman who I'm so pleased to meet in person, John Michael Talbot. Hi, John Michael.
Hi, Lisa. It's great to be here with you.
Real treat to be with you, and I'd love to have you just say a few words of introduction for anyone who hasn't had the opportunity to meet you or know of your work.
Oh, goodness. Well, I was in rock and roll, converted to Christianity in the Jesus movement in 71, became a Catholic in 78, and have put out now about 50 Catholic recordings and 22 books.
Fantastic. And you're here this week to really inspire these religious booksellers who are coming together. Say a little bit about your participation here at RBTE.
Well, my main participation is to report what's going on with our itinerant ministry. Since the recession, we've gone back to basics and gave up the bus and the tours and the big sound and light companies, and just going from parish to parish, rich ones, poor ones, big ones, little ones, new ones, historic ones, and we're just experiencing a great revival in the Catholic Church that's very inclusive of other Christian and non-Christian expressions of faith. There are three things I think that folks are concerned about: the recession, the bubble quake and the aftershock, and then politics. They don't know whether to drink coffee or tea, and then of course in the church we've had the sex scandals. So folks are ready for great news. They're ready for good news. They've been bad newsed long enough.
Yes, we have.
And the vast majority of folks are just ready. So we're going around and teaching people how to, first of all, worship and praise God enthusiastically in liturgy, because we lose people from our liturgies because we don't do it in the typical Catholic parish. We're teaching them how to really pay close attention to the Word of God in the liturgy, to really be attentive listeners. We're teaching them how to go deeper in meditation and to bring that heritage really out to folks, because, again, people are leaving the church, going to other places to find that, and it's part of our heritage. And then lastly, we're showing folks that every time you come forward to receive communion, you're giving your life to Christ completely, because he first gave his life for us. And so the response that we're getting is just pretty overwhelming, totally unexpected. But the readiness of people, and they go into these events in parishes looking like they've just been whipped. like a dog that's just been whipped. They look dead. And they leave happy and on fire. I even do interviews with Catholic radio, and when we start, they're just dead. They're just kind of parroting back the teachings of the church like dead people, and by the end of the interview, they're all fired up,
and ready to go spread the word.
Ready to actually get into it, and so it's been great.
So what words of wisdom do you have for our show listeners who might be that person who's out there experiencing maybe perhaps a dry time spiritually or a sense of that valley fever, if you will, the time when they're feeling a little bit low spiritually? What kind of words of wisdom can you share with them to inspire them?
Well, you have to tap into the Spirit of God, and you do that through prayer and praise and worship, and you do that through deep meditation and a really reverent participation in the sacraments. Love and joy and peace are part of the fruit of the Spirit, and faith and hope and charity are part of our virtues. So we lose hope, and we lose, therefore, our joy, and therefore we lose our peace, and we don't have any love. So you've got to go to not just the form of godliness, you've got to go to the power of it. You've got to go to the Spirit. And when you do that, then everything kind of clicks in place, and you're ready to take whatever God gives you, whether he makes you rich or poor. You're rich anyway. See, so you're free. And so my message here at RBTE is just really sharing what's going on with our ministry. I've done 2 books this year. I did one called The World is My Cloister with Orbis Books, The Journey of the Hermit Within. And then I did another one with Liturgical Press, Reflections on St. Francis.
This is what happens when you have so many books. You can't remember their names.
Well, I have 2. I have Lessons of St. Francis and Reflections on St. Francis. I get them confused. But, they're being very well received as well. But my purpose for being here is not to push the books. My purpose for being here is really just to share the word.
And speaking of dealing with whatever God puts in your path, I followed the misfortune that you had recently with a tremendous fire.
Yeah.
Can you say a few words about how people might help out with that if they want to support you?
Send money.
We'll have links to help you do that.
Right. No, we had a fire 2 years ago. It burned the monastery to the ground. And we were told, don't quit, keep going, rebuild. So we're rebuilding. It looks like an old Franciscan mission from California, but it's a modern building. It's R-rated like an underground home. It'll take care of a community of about 50, which is what we need, and about 150 guests, and again, that's what we regularly need. Well, we don't do anything by going to the bank, so we only operate on cash. That's a message you can send to Washington if you want, by the way. And
California.
Yeah, and California. Yeah, amen.
My home.
Oh, yeah, I know it well. And so we operate by the donations of folks. And people think, oh, well, you've sold so many records and books, you're rich. Well, no, it's been one of my vows. I give all my money away. So I don't have any money. So we need support in order to rebuild this monastery. And folks have been very good, but we need more.
So I know that you have johnmichaeltalbot.com and then littleportion.com?
Littleportion.org. Yeah, that's the community, johnmichaeltalbot.com. And then you can always go to my Facebook fan page. The friend page, don't go there because I'm just going to redirect you to the fan page.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time today and for the good that you're doing here in St. Charles. Any closing thoughts that you want to share with our listeners?
Yeah. We're facing tough times in this culture. But don't give up. Don't get discouraged. Don't lose your hope. Don't lose your joy. And stay focused on the eternal message, the real message, the lasting message. And then all this stuff on earth finds its own place. And you have peace, and you have the ability to give yourself of self-giving, self-emptying, kenosis, with great joy. So that's really the definition of love, is to give yourself without asking anything back. And you'll be able to do that. And when you do that, then you're liberated, you're free, you're born again. So that's my message.
What a blessing you are to so many, and thank you so much for your time. It's been great to have this time with John Michael Talbot. Thanks.
Thanks, Lisa.
Our first interview this morning from the RBTE floor is with Frances Butek, who's the owner of a great company entitled Illuminated Ink. And I thought she'd be such a great guest to share with our CatholicMom.com friends and listeners out there because of the tremendous products that they have for Catholic families. Frances, tell us a little bit more about what you're doing here at RBTE with Illuminated Ink.
We're here to reach out to the religious and Catholic bookstores in the country. Our product line is all, everything is meant to be colored, cut out, glued together, keep kids busy kind of stuff, and teach them their faith along the way.
So it's a family company, right?
Absolutely.
And I know that your husband, Frank, is involved as your illustrator. How did the company get started?
18 years ago, we started homeschooling our first child, and at the time there was nothing fun for him to do. And so my husband's an illustrator, I'm a technical writer, and so between the two of us we started coming up with projects for our own children, and it just grew from there.
What a fantastic thing. And what are some of the products that people will find when they come visit Illuminated Ink?
We have everything from First Communion banner kits to Jesse tree ornament kits, Advent candle kits, Saint Search games, all kinds of card kits. It really runs the gamut.
Fantastic. And how can people get a hold of the products if they want to order something from you?
The easiest way to get to us is to go to our website, and it is www.illuminatedink, that's INK.com.
Great. And I'm just curious personally how many kids you have and how old they are.
We have 5 children. They range from 22 down to 2.
Fantastic. So these products have been test-driven in a great Catholic home with 5 kids, I'm sure, who've really enjoyed them. And I'm going to post some photos on my Facebook page, so everybody head over to that to take a look at this. And I highly recommend it. It's illuminatedink.com. Thank you, Frances.
Thank you so much.
Next up from RBTE, I'm here with a product line that I'm a huge fan of, We Believers, WeBelievers.com. Joni Abdallah is our next guest. Hi, Joni.
Hi.
So happy to meet you guys in person. You and Steve have been good friends online, and I know that many of our listeners and the readers of CatholicMom.com and Faith and Family are big fans of the work that you do, but tell everybody about We Believers.
Well, We Believers is a Catholic toy company that my husband and I started a few years ago, and we started it out of necessity. We have little children, and we discovered that there just weren't many toy options to encourage our children to learn more about their faith in a practical, tactile way.
So the first product that came out was the My Mass Kit, and what are people going to find with the Mass Kit?
The Mass Kit, it is a 12-piece plush Mass Kit, and it's everything a priest would need to say a liturgy. And it also includes an instruction booklet. It's good for catechists or parents, First Communion classes. And it's basically the ability for gives the children an ability to be hands-on and to allow them to
really enjoy the Mass, to learn about it from the perspective of, rather than saying, oh, that's not something that you touch and whatever, it gives them the chance to be hands-on with the experience of the liturgy. And I know your resources are also very carefully checked out, and that you have a liturgical advisor as well.
Yes, our liturgical advisor is Archbishop Raymond Burke. He's actually in the Vatican right now, and he makes sure that everything we produce is in line with the Holy Church and is reverent, yet playful and childlike. And there have been some questions. Our Mass Kit is plush, and it's plush for exactly the reason you mentioned, so that children can make a distinction between what is sacred and what they cannot touch,
Exactly.
and something that is playful but instructive so that they can touch it.
Well, it's been a real wonderful gift, too. I actually purchased it for my nephews, who are 3 and 5, and they love it. So it's been really great. And I was so happy to meet in person Sister Mary Clara and Father Juan Pablo, the newest members of the We Believer family, these great plush vocation dolls that you have. Introduce us to Sister and Father.
Okay, Sister Mary Clara and Father Juan Pablo are our main characters, and we made them into plush, huggable dolls. And the beauty of these dolls, their vocation dolls, is I interviewed 5 religious sisters from 5 different orders, and I tell their stories in the booklet that accompanies Sister Mary Clara. And I did the same thing with Father Juan Pablo, interviewed 5 priests from 5 different orders and 1 diocesan priest. And I did this so that children can learn the different callings in the vocation, religious vocation. Some priests and some religious sisters serve the poor, some serve the elderly, some are teachers. And it's also to foster faith, vocation, communication between parents and children, because sometimes parents find it difficult or kind of awkward to talk about a vocation to the religious life, and some parents are even afraid. And this gives them the opportunity to just open that door and to just let the Holy Spirit move. And
Well, it's a real gift, and I know that we are all constantly praying for vocations, but this is something that a mom or a dad or grandpa and grandma or an aunt or uncle or even a teacher can do hands-on to really do something proactive to try to plant the seed of a future vocation in your child's life. So I want to highly recommend them. It's the Vocation Dolls, and they're the newest product out from We Believers. Joni, where can people find your products?
they can find them online at www.webelievers.com, and that's WEE, webelievers.com.
Great, and we'll have pictures over at CatholicMom.com as well, and on my Facebook page, so be sure to head over and meet Father Juan Pablo and Sister Mary Clara, and thank you again, Joni, and to your husband for the great work that you're doing.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much.
Next up on the floor here, I've just run across one of a very amazing display from the Vatican Library collection, and we've got Linda here to tell us a little bit more about the products that they're sharing here at RBTE.
Yes, well, the Vatican line is made by 1928 Jewelry Company. We are the only licensed costume jewelry company to be licensed to carry the Vatican name, and every piece is made here in the United States.
They're absolutely beautiful, and I know that I've seen them not only in religious bookstores, but in stores like Macy's as well. So how are people responding to the products that you're offering here?
Oh, they love it. The quality of each piece is just unbelievable. Yes, we are in some department stores, but very few. Mainly we're in the more bookstores, mom and pop stores.
Mm-hmm. And what are some of the pieces along with jewelry that you're offering here?
Well, we have crucifixes, we have crosses, we have medallions, we have rosaries, we have rosary boxes, we have keychains, we have bookmarks. We have a little bit of everything for everyone.
And if people wanted to see the collection, where's a good place for them to go online to view it?
You would go to www.thevaticanlibrarycollection.com.
Great. Well, thank you, Linda. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Next up on the floor, I've wandered across the great Pauline Book and Media exhibit here, and I've got two of the Daughters of St. Paul, Sister Susan and Sister Irene, and they're going to tell us a little bit more about what they're sharing here at RBT this week. Sister Irene, I overheard you say you're from Colorado?
Yeah, actually, I'm studying at the Augustine Institute, the biblical school there with the Archdiocese.
Oh, fantastic. And tell me what you guys are focusing on here at the show, what you're sharing with people.
Well, we have a lot of new items. I, in particular, like the new 2 comic books that we have for the kids. That's one of my favorites there.
What are they called?
Which ones are they? St. Joan of Arc and St. Bernadette.
Oh, those are fantastic. And you guys have so many great resources for families. Sister Susan, what are some of the other non-book oriented products that you guys, I know you have a line of DVDs and videos as well.
Well, music is also very important in our publishing house. In fact, we have a
we hear them in the background.
We have a brand new album. The sisters singing the Catholic Marian Latin chants, Stella Maris, and then we had In Paradisum. We also have celebrating the 20 best loved songs of Catholics. We brought many of our new publications here, and noteworthy is our line of Theology of the Body books. We have a brand new Theology of the Body in Context, which charts John Paul II's writings and explains how it was so central to his thought. And that one's by William May. We have The Human Person by Brian Bransfield. So there's a big Theology of the Body symposium happening in Philadelphia at the end of July.
I'm actually blessed to be going that, and I just interviewed Father Bransfield a few weeks ago for my show, so our listeners will remember his work. how can people get a hold of seeing some of your products online if they want to visit that?
We have a website, www.pauline.org, and there's a new function where many of the books you can click on the little icon and it opens the book and you can begin to read. We've also just launched our iRosary app for downloadable, so it's something that people might be.
I have it on my iPhone. It's one of my favorite new apps. So I told you I'm a Pauline fangirl. So, Sister Irene, if you would just say a word or two about people who might be considering a vocation, any words of encouragement that you might have for them.
First of all, pray. That's the first thing. And talk to somebody. You know, the way we get to know ourselves is by talking, sharing our lives with others. And I would suggest that they talk to someone, talk to a sister or a priest that they know, even their parents. I mean, they know you the best. So, yeah, I'd encourage them praying first of all, then talk to somebody.
I know that Sister Tracy out in Southern California is always up for a good talk about vocation. So
another daughter of St. Paul and I answer questions on Ask a Catholic Nun. It's a Facebook page. So any questions you'd like to ask about vocation or about nuns or about our Catholic faith, you can go on Ask a Catholic Nun Facebook page.
So how many times do you get asked about your hair?
Oh, not too often, but believe it or not, sometimes people want to know if we wear our habits to bed, and then the answer is no.
Well, PJs are allowed. So.
When we go to a high school and are talking with the young women, somebody will always raise their hand and say, "Can I ask you a question?" Sure. Do you wear that to bed? It's like, no, we don't. But we do have a full recognizable habit, and we believe that in our ministry, which is communicating the Word of God, that a visible sign communicates who we are to people in the shopping malls or in the streets or the grocery store. You know, they can recognize a nun. And sometimes I've wandered into a store and somebody's come across the way, and after I say, I don't even know why I was really in that store, except that God allowed the two of us to meet and have a conversation about the faith or help clarify something or pray with a person. So I think it's wonderful. Without even trying to, we're being who we are, and the Lord works through that.
Yeah, that ministry of presence. Well, thank you so much. And I just want to remind everybody, if you're fortunate enough to have a Pauline Book and Media Center near your home, please go there. Please buy the resources that they have and support the great work that these sisters are doing. So again, it's Pauline Book and Media. And what's the website again?
At www.pauline.org.
Great. Well, thank you so much, sisters, for your time.
Thank you to you.
Here at the floor with Bo Govea of 10-20-30 Go, which is one of my favorite new products that I've learned about here at RBTE. We were friends online before this, but it's so nice to meet Bo in person. Tell us a little bit more about what you're talking about here at the show.
I'm really here just to introduce 10-20-30 Go. It just came out, the actual product, 2 weeks ago. And our system is called 10-20-30 Go, Families Functioning Faithfully, and it's trying to get our kids to do 10 minutes of prayer, 20 minutes of reading, and 30 minutes of work each day.
So you've systemized this into a kit that parents can purchase and implement right in their home. What do they find when they pick up the kit?
They find that the accountability cards is really the key to the whole system. And one of the things parents are telling us they really like is that it has always been a chore to get kids to do chores. And what you do with the accountability cards, you roll out the system, and then you give the kids the cards, and they're responsible to bring it to mom and dad and get it signed every day. So it's kind of putting it back on them.
And then there's a reward at the end of the week.
Right. And you can use, some people don't believe in using money as a reward. We actually do. We pay allowance for ours, but you can use whatever reward you want.
That's great, and I know you've tested this with your own family. You have kids of varying ages, and tell us how they've received it.
Well, my 15-year-old was very standoffish at first, and it's actually a great story because she fought this system. She actually said, "Dad, this is stupid and it's not going to work." But she soon found out that when she would come to us on Fridays and say, "Can I go to so-and-so's house?" and we'd say, "Can we see your card?" and she'd show up with a blank card, and we'd say, "I wish you could go, but you didn't do your card." She soon found out that we were serious, and so that was her motivation to do the card. But it's really opened up a whole new level of communication between us and our kids, and the real fruit of this has been the ability to talk about their relationship with God and where they're meeting Him, where they're at.
And you and I talked about yesterday that this is a product, parents will buy this thinking that they're helping their kids, but we really help ourselves as parents when we do that. So I know you mentioned to me as a father that it's really helped you to systematize this and have better communication with your kids. Can you say a few words about that?
To be honest with you, Lisa, it's helped me. I actually do the cards myself, too, and have the kids sign it so that they can see I'm not just asking you to do this. It's important, and we're doing it as well. Because it's funny how we'll spend, everybody knows that relationship with God is important, right? Mm-hmm. But how many times do you let a day or two or three or maybe even a week go by and you haven't sat down and spent that alone time with Him? And so that's really been the biggest fruit.
Well, I think that systems like this are really wonderful for helping Catholic families and for our school teachers and religious educators out there. This is something that you can introduce in your parish or your school as well. How can people get a hold of the product if they want to learn more?
We just launched our website. It's the numbers 102030go.com.
Great. And if you take a look at CatholicMom.com, I'll have some pictures there and on my Facebook page as well. So thanks to Bo from 102030go.com. And everybody needs to go over and check it out. It's really wonderful.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you.
Next up at RBTE, I'm so happy to have a few moments with a real hero as far as authors are concerned, somebody I've enjoyed reading for quite some time, Bert Gezzi. How are you today, Bert?
Oh, I'm doing great, and thank you for talking to me.
It's a real treat, and I'm a rookie here at RBTE, but I know that you've been here in the past. How are you finding the show this week?
Well, I'm getting to meet a lot of old friends and a lot of people who I have great respect for. Today we honored Father George Lane and Larry Boat, two of the real significant people in the industry. So it's good to be here, seeing how God has worked among people here and how much good has happened.
And you're wearing two hats here today because you're with our Sunday Visitor, representing the publishing efforts, and also here as an author as well.
Yes, right.
Let me have you first ask you what's new with OSV.
Well, OSV has three significant books just coming out. One is by Greg Erlandson and Matt Bunson. It's Pope Benedict XVI and the sexual abuse crisis, which is a very objective presentation of the issues. If people are wondering how to talk about and understand what's going on, this would be the best book for somebody to read. We have just released The Archbishop Wore Combat Boots, which is a memoir of Archbishop Hannon from New Orleans. It's a wonderful story. The man goes from World War II up to the Katrina crisis, and he's a friend of the Kennedys, and so it's a marvelous story.
Wow, I can't wait to see that one.
And then we have just re-released an updated version of Dr. Reichelak's book on Hitler and the Pope, which is a very accurate, balanced presentation of all the story of Pope Pius XII and the accusations made against him about the care of the Jews during the war, and it really sets the record straight. So there are three significant books that we've just done.
It's so fascinating as a reader to be here and to see all the books and really to be encouraged about the future of Catholic publishing, which I see as very bright.
Yes, there's a lot more to be happening. It's very, very good.
It's very exciting. And I know that you're here as well signing books this evening as I am. Tell us about, you're not signing. Okay,
No,
you're just here.
I signed last year.
Okay, great. Well, we do have the re-release of one of your most popular books. Tell us about that one.
Yes, well, recently Loyola Press has brought back a paperback edition of Voices of the Saints, and the Voices of the Saints is the main book I've done. It has a daily reading on 365 saints with a large quote from the saint that helps you understand their voice. That's why it's called Voices of the Saints. And the book this time originally was published in alphabetical order, but this time it's in historical order from Mary to Mother Teresa. So it's a different experience in reading it. You can read it. You can read it either by theme. There are 95 themes in the book, or by the calendar, or you can dip in and find a saint that you want because there's an index. So you can read it 4 or 5 different ways. It's a very unique little book.
How does this version, aside from the order of the saints, are there any changes that you went back and made?
No, we just updated some of the saints who were, servants of God who were not beatified, or beatified saints who were canonized. But that was just a small change.
Fantastic. So, and then you have a new book coming out in October. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Well, the book coming out is called Adventures in Daily Prayer. One of my friends came to me and said, "You've been doing daily prayer since you were in your 20s, haven't you?" I said, "Yes." "Well, there's a book there." I said, "Oh, come on." He said, "No, you need to write a book about daily prayer." And so I did. And Brazos, which is the publisher, picked it up, and they've done a very good job of coaxing a good book out of me and getting it edited, and they're marketing it very well. And it's available for pre-sale on their website or at Amazon, and it's a very personal book, but it's a teaching book as well, and so I think it's going to help people. But people have to understand is that daily prayer is not an extra option. It's not an optional extra. It is really an essential part of the Christian life. That's what the book's about. The takeaway from the book is daily prayer is an essential, and if you do it, you're really going to benefit from it.
So without giving too much of a foreshadowing of it, but just to ask, because I know this is something that people always struggle with, any tips that you have for if you aren't someone who's in the active habit of daily prayer for incorporating this into your life in a small way?
Oh, well, the answer is you have to stop trying. You have to do it. That is, the answer is you need to make it a priority. Like it's kind of like you don't try to eat 3 meals a day. You eat them. You build them in, and if you miss one, you figure out how to reschedule it. Mm-hmm. Well, prayer is to your spiritual life as food is to your natural life. You need to, just like you need to make a priority of having your meals, you got to make a priority having your prayer time at some kind of prime time. Is your prime time morning? Is your prime time evening? Whenever the prime time is, you put it there. And if you are not capable of figuring that out, you need to make a choice to do that.
Well, I think it makes sense, and I think that having a book like that from someone as expert as you, he's a busy publisher. So, so we'll finish up now with Bert Gesey. Next up, I'm here with a good friend, Patty Mitchell from The Word Among Us, and we're so happy to hear about the great books that you guys have coming up this next season. Can you give us a quick overview of some of the titles that we can look forward to from The Word Among Us?
We have a book on healing prayer that we think people will really enjoy. It's by a great leader from the Charismatic Renewal years back named Francis McNutt. And he encourages all Catholics to pray with their families and friends for healing and kind of goes step by step through how to do that. So we're excited about that book. We have another Bible study. This one's on women in the Gospels. It's by a respected scripture scholar, Marianne Getty Sullivan. And it's part of our Keys to the Bible series, which has been very popular. It's a 6-session study, and we think the parishes will really like that. We have a fun book called The Patron Saints Handbook coming out by Mitch Finley. It's got 100 saints and what their patron causes are. It's fun. There's a lot of interesting facts about different saints, and a lot of pretty much any situation you want to pray for, you can find a patron for. So that should be a fun book. We have our regular annual Abide in My Word, which is the Mass readings for the whole year in one book, which is very popular every year. And we also every year publish a prayer journal so that people can, one of our missions is to get people to pray every day and read scripture. And the prayer journal just helps you write down what you're hearing from the Lord and your petitions and stuff. It's a beautiful cover. And we also have a children's book coming out called St. Joseph's Story. We're hoping it'll be a good Christmas item. And we have a beautiful Italian illustrator, Maria Cristina Locasio. She does contemporary but still traditional pictures of the Christmas story told from the point of view of St. Joseph. So we're real excited about our titles, and we're hoping that people will enjoy them.
Well, absolutely fabulous. And I have to say, for readers who are interested in children's books, that your line is really wonderful, and the art in those particular books is worth the price in and of itself. It's just beautiful. So how can people get a hold of the titles? What's the website?
It's wau.org, or even if you just type in wordamongus.org, you'll get to our website, and then click on bookstore. The homepage has got the meditations from our magazine. So if you click on bookstore, you'll see all the books. And there's a lot of specials on our website, so be sure to go there.
Well, so many of us pray with you every day, and now we're praying for these great authors that you're working with, and we really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your prayers.
Next up on the podcast, we have Marianne Carey from Paulus Press, and she's going to show us a little bit of an overview of some of the new Paulus titles that we can look forward to in the coming season. Hey, Marianne.
Hi. Thanks, Lisa. I appreciate your talking about Paulus Press books with me. I'm going to start with the Catholic Prayer Bible. Is a long-awaited, groundbreaking book for Paulus Press. It's a full-length Bible, and it's a Lectio Divina edition, which means praying with Lectio Divina, the ancient way of read the Bible, reflect on the passage, pray on the passage, and then be called to act in a social justice manner, or in your neighborhood, or in your family, or wherever you're called to do so. But each of these passages has a pull-out with the small reading and then prompts for reflection, prayer, and action. And it kind of goes through the entire Bible like that, with these pull-out sections with reflection questions to go with, and the ways that one can reflect on each passage in the Bible.
What a beautiful way to pray your way through the Bible. That looks fantastic. I need it.
I'm really excited about it, and I think that it is ancient. I think that anyone who has any experience praying with the Bible will find it to be a natural, because we've probably already been doing this, anyone who uses the Bible on a regular basis. But this just gives a nice concrete way, tangible way to look at how we pray with the Bible.
Great.
So the Catholic Prayer Bible, Lectio Divina edition, paperback and hardback. Okay, so
I need the hardback. I'm hard on my Bibles. I go through about one a year, so
mine's falling apart. So anyway, so the next one we have, I'll go with another adult title that we have, because I want to show you some children's titles, talk about some children's titles too. The Gratitude Factor, Enhancing Your Life Through Grateful Living. I think gratitude is kind of a buzzword right now, and we hear it on Oprah and we hear it around, but it's an important grace and virtue that we can be living every single day. And this book, written by Charles M. Shelton, he is showing us a way to look at gratitude, types of gratitude. I never even thought about being types of gratitude, and how it can play an important role in our everyday life. Dr. Shelton is a clinical psychologist, so he's coming about this book with a spiritual as well as a psychological point of view, and I think he's done a very, very good job of helping us recognize where we can be grateful in all our lives and where we can be more grateful in our lives. So I'm recommending The Gratitude Factor for anyone who's interested in that. Okay.
And then we have about 2 minutes left, so
let's do
look at a couple of the children's titles.
Two children's. Hooray! I'm Catholic.
I love that. What a cute book this is, too. Just the outside cover of it is adorable.
A great, enthusiastic book written by Hannah Cole, whom I know personally and is a terrific, wonderful lady and very connected to her spirituality. So she's done this book for kids. She gives us tangible ways to be excited about our faith. Little blessings, candles, bells, things like rosaries, vestments, It's a great book. The illustrations are terrific.
The illustrations are gorgeous.
Joanna Steeg's done a terrific job with that, and I think it just celebrates for kids ages about 4 or 5 till 8, how to recognize the great things about being at church and being a Catholic, or angels, ashes, tangible ways kids can recognize how great being Catholic is. And last but not least, Peekaboo Jesus is going to be our hot seller in board books. And it kind of goes more across denominational lines. This is not particularly, it's Christian, it's Catholic, it's universal in our love of Jesus, and how to show a 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old who Jesus is and who Jesus can be in our lives. So Peekaboo Jesus, just a tiny bit about that.
And this is a lift the flap type of a book. It's interactive.
Definitely. Lift the flap. Where are Jesus' eyes? Peekaboo Jesus. And you lift the flap. And onward through the whole book about where is Jesus' smile? Lift the flap. Behind his hands. It's very sweet. It's fun. I mean, any parent who's used a board book and with the flip.
Kids love that. They love the interactivity of this and being able to have the give and take with their parents. So it looks like a great book, maybe a baptism gift or just a gift for a little one that you love.
Little one, and the price is right, $8.95, and there's also a version of it called Peekaboo Christmas. So
wow, well, we have a lot to look forward to in the next year from Paulist Press. And how can people get a hold of these books?
www.paulistpress.com.
Well, Marianne, it's been so fun to meet you in person, and I always love your book titles and can't wait for our readers to check them out as well. So thank you.
Thanks a lot, Lisa. It's great talking to you.
Our last guest on today's podcast from RBTE is the best publisher in the house, Ave Maria Press. I'm forever indebted to them for all the good that they've done with me the last year. But it's my dear friend Julie. And Julie, I wanted to just talk with you about some of the new releases that you guys have coming out for the next season.
Sure, Lisa, and that's exactly what we're featuring here at the show, is our new fall releases. One special title is Henry Nouwen is a best-selling author of ours, and we are excited to have a combined edition of In Memoriam, which we've always had available, combined now with A Letter of Consolation. Both of these books were written by Nouwen during the period of his mother's death and dying. A Letter of Consolation was written to his father while he was grieving, and In Memoriam was Henry Nouwen's thoughts on the passing of his mother. They are now combined for the first time in A Sorrow Shared.
Oh, that sounds like such a wonderful resource, especially maybe for a gift to give to somebody who is struggling with their own sense of loss, or if you're going through this yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Henry Nouwen's thoughts on death and dying, I think, shared in this book is going to be comforting.
Great. And what else do we have?
We have a new book that we're excited for the season. It's called the Notre Dame Book of Prayer, and this is a wonderful compilation of many famous people either on campus or have a connection to Notre Dame, including Father Ted Hesburgh and Father John Jenkins, the president of Notre Dame. Each of them have come together with different places of prayer on the campus and said why they're important and why they give this sense of a place where you can stop and pray. Each of them have also provided a prayer. So you get some inspiration and you get to know the different places on prayer that were inspirational, as well as a prayer from each of them. The book will also include traditional prayers, rosary, and other prayers beyond what have been offered by the contributors to the book.
It's beautiful.
It is going to be beautiful. It's going to be a hardcover book, 4-color photos throughout. I have a presentation page, a gold stamping. It's going to be a gift book for both folks that have alumni of Notre Dame, as well as fans of Notre Dame and just people across the country that have always known that Notre Dame is a special place for prayer.
Can't wait to see that one. And I know you guys are really great at working with new authors that, maybe are first timers like me, like I was way back when. Do you have any new books coming out from anybody who might be new to us?
Yes, we're really excited about a new author for the first time, Kyle Kramer. Kyle started out in his life as being energetic, heading toward the corporate world, and took a step back and realized he wasn't sure that's the direction he wanted his life to go. So he decided to start an organic farm in Indiana, and his life really changed. He realized that was the roots, and his book is going to be inspirational, it's humorous, it's honest and open, and Kyle's voice in this book, I think, is going to be an inspiration to a lot. It's going to have the eco-spirituality side of it, and environmental I think it's very timely.
It is. It's incredibly timely. And the name of the book?
A Time to Plant.
Great. We'll be watching out for that one. When is it expected?
I don't believe that one's available till January.
So something to look for in the new year, something to inspire all of us. Those themes are so important. I want to thank you on behalf of the many authors that you've worked with for the fine work that you guys do. And where can people get a hold of these books if they're interested in Ave Maria Press's publications?
All of these books are available on our website at www.avemariapress.com.
Well, thank you again to Julie from Ave Maria Press and to all those who spoke with me here at RBTE. It's been such a wonderful experience. And if you have the opportunity to come to this show in the future, I hope you'll take advantage of it. And that's it for this week's show. God bless each and every one of you, and we'll see you next week on Catholic Moments.
SQPN, leading the way in Catholic new media.